Hi, my name is Brett Zucker, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Bridgeline Digital. I'd like to welcome you to the introduction of iAPPS Social, our fifth module in the award-winning web engagement management platform iAPPS. And as you can see here, it's completely integrated to the other modules. They're still sharing the same information. All of the value proposition around iAPPS still holds true here. And social is really about two main purposes. The first is to aggregate and prioritize conversations that are happening on the web. How do we engage with customers, potential customers? How do we leverage social media? How do we use content that's already pre-approved and whatnot to actually engage outside of our site? Now, the second piece is really around the leveraging of that exponential publish through or broadcasting model. How do we leverage executive accounts or dealer accounts or department accounts or franchise or whatever it is, take advantage of the distributed nature of each of these folks having their own Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other social profiles and allow you to publish through and reach a much broader audience than you could with a single corporate account. Now let's take a look. We're going to go ahead and log in here, and you'll see it works just the same as all of our other products. Right? You have all of our global navigation everywhere. Everything looks, functions, and works the same. Now, the first page is the My Activity. This is all about setting up the keywords that you want to use to look for conversations that are happening. So we could look up small business marketing, small business solutions, veteran hiring, whatever it is. These keywords, and we help you define those, are the conversations and topics you're looking for. On the right, you'll see a prioritized list of all of the conversations that are happening that we think you should engage with, or at least review to engage. So here you can see there's over 11,000 topics or conversations that are happening. This could be on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, other social media outlets. This could be based on Google Reader feeds. This could be based on RSS feeds pointing to certain industry sites that are relevant to your organization or your topics. But the idea is we're taking these, then running them through our proprietary algorithms to prioritize which ones you should look at first. So we're looking at things like ComScore, Alexa, figuring out their sphere, this site's sphere of influence. We're looking at how often you engage on those sites and what topics you're actually responding to. We take a look at how many times people have replied to your posts, right? The more that you get people to engage with you, obviously that's a good audience. And so we want to prioritize conversations on those sites. But ultimately, we prioritize and say, hey, you know what? These are the top 50 that we think you should engage with. And you can see where they're located and the topics and all of those kinds of things. Excuse me. Now we can actually click through, and you'll see it's going to bring me to that particular page. But the thing around integration is that we now have our social media toolbar. So I am actually looking at the site here, and you can see one of the things that it noticed was that there's so many comments. There's probably a hot topic going on over here, which is why it was prioritized. But here I can actually see on franchise.com the article. I can read through it. I could figure out whether I want to engage with it or not. I can very quickly, if I have a corporate account, I can post this on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you have Google+, we can certainly integrate with that account as well. Or maybe I just want to mark this for follow-up. Maybe it's interesting, but going back to my tasks, I can look to see if anything I've marked for follow-up because I'm not ready to engage just yet. Or I can actually engage. So what we're doing here is we're actually leveraging content from the iAPPS Content Manager to put in a comment, grab something of an asset from our blogs or somewhere else, link back to the site itself, our site. And when we engage with this article, it's going to make a post and begin to track so we know how many times people replied to our posts. So it makes it very easy to aggregate and prioritize conversations going out there on the web based on the topics that we can certainly help you with. And it makes it from one single command center. You have the ability to now aggregate the conversations, leverage pre-existing, pre-approved content, go through workflows, and engage outside of your four walls on your website to attract people back to view content or transact or do whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do. So this whole aggregation of these conversations is the first piece. The second is, how do we leverage broadcasting? How do we take advantage of the power and the promise of social media? So the first thing that we're going to look at is, hey, these might be great articles and that somebody else might be interested in. Maybe I'm running corporate marketing, but I work at a hospital and there's 34 different divisions, or I work at a sports club and there's 45 locations, and each physical location has their own Facebook, or each department has their own Facebook, LinkedIn, other pages. Well, now I can actually read through this, cultivate or cull through content, and send this out and say, you know what? This would be something that might be interesting to other folks. So I can go ahead and share this. Now, I can share this with maybe my Twitter account, my corporate Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or with what we call a group account. So now I can share this and say, and in this case, the UPS stores, we have 4,500 stores that are powered by iAPPS. We have the ability to now broadcast and say, you know what? Maybe all the stores in New York, this is a relevant article on dealing with small business issues and running a small business in the New York area. Well, based on filter criteria, we can create these groups, and now I can publish through and post to a particular Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to all of those accounts for all of these different franchises, dealers, departments in this group based on that criteria. I can now publish out and publish through to those individual accounts. And you think about it for a second, you might have 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 individual corporate account Facebook's or likes on Facebook, for instance. Well, when you have 50, 100, 1,000, 5,000 individual accounts across your organization because of dealers, because of franchises, because of departments, because individual executive accounts. Well, now, when you add all of the likes and all of the connections and all of the other things going on through that distributed network, the broadcasting power becomes exponential. So rather than deal with the 500, the 1,000, the 10,000 that you have direct with corporate, let's publish through and deal with the 10,000, the 100,000, the millions across your organization that you could potentially reach. And so through filter criteria and leveraging the power of broadcasting social media, we can actually, from a centralized standpoint, control the distribution of information across these social channels, including workflows, publications, scheduling, all of that kind of stuff. So the idea around iAPPS Social is to, leverage the power of aggregation of conversations, prioritizing those, utilizing CMS content, pre-approved content, and workflows to engage with customers in a social media environment. And the second is to leverage that exponential broadcasting, publishing through to not just your corporate accounts, but leverage the assets and the people and the divisions and departments and franchises and dealers and all the other great outlets that you have to be able to publish through in a meaningful way. And so we think iAPPS Social is going to be a great product for everybody, small, medium, or large businesses, and we're excited to bring it to you today. Thank you.